every laugh, every smile, every hug, every kiss, every touch, every person in my life that I care about and love. But wait, maybe I'm getting too emotional. That's exactly what they say you ain't supposed to do. Suppress your feelings, never talk about your pain. Can't appreciate the sun without acknowledging it rains, right? That's right. So this a moment of clarity. And make sure you always protect your energy. You stay focused and your life gon' be lit. And you are now rocking with Celeste, the therapist. Let's go.
Hey. Hi, beautiful people. So let me just put in this so that I don't get any audio issues. So hi, beautiful people. Maurice. If you have just joined me, my name is Celeste. I'm a therapist from Boston. If you're watching me on a replay, thank you so much for being here. My goal and everything that I do is to just come on and help people kind of shift the way they think by bringing people on that are empowering other people and also really giving us some like tools on how we can help ourselves. So every night, Monday through Friday, since last week, I've been bringing on a special guest that's doing something to help us kind of shift our thought process. Before I bring my special guest on, hi, Missy, I'm doing good. Thank you so much for checking in. I appreciate you. Before I bring my special guest on, I just wanted to show you guys this thing because I always say like I'm here to shift the way you think. I wanted to show you my logo. So if you ever see this logo, this is actually my daughter. But inside of the head, there are these gears that are going. And in those gears, there are these words, understanding. So how do I shift the way I think? Because I wanted people to understand what that means. So understand what you're thinking, reframe those negative thoughts. Then after I understand, I reframe it, I got to create an action plan. So that means I got to actually make steps to change. It's one thing to understand and to reframe, but then I have to make an action plan. And then I have to be consistent with the process. And as I'm being consistent, I continue to repeat that process. And just because we understand one time doesn't mean those thoughts don't come in. I'm always in this cycle. I'm understanding, I'm reframing, I'm creating an action plan. I'm being consistent. Anybody who knows me knows I'm super consistent, and I repeat the process. And as we go through this process, healing starts to take place. And I highlighted the words faith within all of those letters because in order for this to happen, you have to have faith that you can do it. So I always tell people, like, you have more power than you realize. You just have to have faith to believe in yourself. So, that's something that I really want people to understand as they're going through this process of change. Hey, Mr. Card Logic. And another thing I wanted to put up really quick before I bring her on. So there is 2 different sites I want you guys to know about. One is the crisis text hotline. If you text 741-741, you can be connected to a crisis counselor. I like the idea of being able to text. And so if money's an issue, to be able to connect with somebody, no insurance, this is a really great resource. Another great resource that I wanted to bring to people's attention is NAMI.org, NAMI.org. This is a national organization where it's kind of been created for people who may have like family members that were struggling with mental health, help people kind of navigate it. So it's always been in existence. Obviously, they have more relevant stuff in regards to the coronavirus. When you end up clicking on learn more, you can type in your state or your zip code, and it can take you to the NAMI chapter that's in your area. So NAMI.org and this Texas, I don't know, keep saying Texas, this text crisis hotline. They're really good 2 resources. I really want people to kind of educate themselves. This is like week 3 of quarantine. So there are people that might be experiencing some symptoms that they're not really familiar with or they've never experienced. So when you live your life and on the go or consistently find yourself distracting yourself from that uncomfortable feeling, and now you're like kind of forced to sit with yourself, that can be really, really hard. It can feel very traumatic. So I just kind of want people to understand the process. So today, I have a really special guest with me today. Her name is Makayla. I'm going to have her introduce her to you guys. I'm going to bring her on right now. Hello, Makayla.
My mic's muted. Okay. Hi guys. Hi.
Can you tell people your name and what you are known for?
Yeah, of course. So my name's Makayla. Um, I am known for affirmations, honestly.
Mhm.
I'm a life coach and I use cognitive behavior techniques in order to, that's what I specialize in order to actually shift the
Mhm.
mindset and the thought process, those negative thoughts. And I specialize, I use positive affirmations. I thrive on positive affirmations on my Facebook page, my Instagram page. I do an affirmation every single day, or an affirmation of the week, because you do have to like continuously repeat those affirmations in order for them to become believable.
Yes.
But that's what I am known for.
And manifest peace.
Yes. Well, manifest peace. Honestly, the name is like people really, really, really just take the name and run with it. They're like manifest peace, and I didn't realize it was so catchy when I thought of it. But
Yeah. No, it's good. And one of the things, so here's her website right here, Manifest Peace. And you can also find Makayla on Instagram at manifest_peace. But one of the things that you talk about on your heading on your Instagram is you want people to focus on the present day. And I'm thinking about the present day right now and the struggles that we're kind of having with trying to stay grounded. How can people work on like focusing on the present day? Like, what does that look like?
so I want to start. Actually, if it's okay with you,
Mhm.
I want to. That's perfect. Do a meditation.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah,
And
I'm gonna do
this
it with
meditation,
you. We're
all
gonna
right,
do it
cool,
together.
awesome. So this meditation is literally, it's a meditation. I try to meditate every single day just to bring myself, like to find my inner self, because of everything that we're going through. To answer that question, just to bring myself into that present moment in my present feeling,
Okay.
like specifically. So we can go ahead and we can just close our eyes. So you're going to take a deep breath in. Hold for 3 and release. This time, when you take a deep breath in, you're going to breathe in through your mouth, hold for 4, and then release with 4. So take a deep breath in. 1, 2, 3, 4, and release with 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we're going to do it again and open your mouth this time when you're breathing in. So it's going to make like a sound. And so you're going to take it in, take an inhale for 4, release with 4, and release. So now I want you to just think about your present feeling. How are you feeling? Allow the thoughts to rush into your mind, or maybe your mind will just quiet. Give yourself the opportunity to intentionally feel your feelings. As you think about those thoughts, think about placing your feet into the soil, maybe the green grass. Plant your feet on the earth. Take in that moment. As you do this, take another deep breath in and release with 4. Roll your shoulders back and release your tensions to the earth. clarify your thoughts. Where are you? What are you feeling? How are you? Pay close attention to those thoughts. Pay close attention to your body, where tension is being held. We begin to open our eyes. Take a deep breath in and release. Okay. That, how'd that feel?
I forgot I was on the show for a second. I was like,
I love that. That's a goal.
oh my gosh, that was so good.
Awesome. I'm so
Oh,
glad you made
I was like, oh yeah, that's right. I forgot I was.
that. I'm hosting a show right now.
Oh my gosh.
That's
Okay, I
so
gotta hold
awesome.
on for
I
a
love
second.
that.
I gotta get back in the
Yes.
show because I am just somewhere else right now.
Bring yourself. Yeah, that's exactly the
Oh my
goal of a
gosh.
meditation, and especially like any type of present moment or grounding meditation. You want to take yourself. Oh, awesome! I'm glad, Missy. Oh, that's so good. That's the
Oh my
thing.
god, I'm so relaxed right now.
Meditation does so much for us. We don't even know like how mind blowing a good meditation can really bring our minds. Where like I feel like even with this corona and we have the time to like just sit down and be silent, we still have all these thoughts going. Like our minds are still chattering like crazy.
Mhm.
Our inner critics, our thoughts, just everything is going. What we have to do, what we should do, like
I
everything is
know. Oh
going.
my god, I don't know why I feel like crying right now.
Oh my god, just cry. Cry. Like, let it out.
That was really good. Oh my god, I feel so relaxed. Oh
Oh,
my gosh, that
that's
was so good.
you. I'm so glad. I'm so
Oh,
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 that's so funny that you said that. I started doing meditations, guided meditations, and I've been sending them to like a friend, and who's like, "Oh my god, put these out there," and I'm like, "I'm nervous."
no, that was really
Oh, I
good.
don't have to. That's awesome.
So just for the record, people listening, I had no idea we were gonna do this. I was just like,
I know. I
someone
didn't
said,
really know either.
so, I'm always like, all right, let's get the show started, blah, blah, blah. And so I'm ready to go full force. And you're like, nah, wait a minute. We about to, I was like, all right, let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay.
And I surrendered.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Like, give yourself up to the earth. Ground yourself. I love
So,
I
so
love
when I asked you focus on the present day, that's a really good start of being able to do that.
yeah, exactly.
And
Meditation. Yeah.
and it's something that is within our control,
Mhm.
right? Like to be able to do what like we just did.
Right. Because right now, like I said, like everyone's minds are going, our thoughts, and nobody really feels like they have control. So it's like just taking advantage of those little things. Like that's what I'm doing right now. I'm trying not to take on too much, even though, like, obviously I can put a lot of content out there, or I can do this, or I can do that, but I'm trying not to because we're already in such an overwhelming situation. So it's just like not trying to take on more,
Mhm.
just taking on like what you have right now in this moment. And so I
Mhm.
always start off the day with just like a meditation before I actually set my intentions for the day. And like I have with my clients, what I tell them is when this first started, they all were like, "Oh my gosh, there's so much going on and I don't know what to do," because they weren't used to the silence. So I told them, I said, let's start with like a to-do list, which is
Mhm.
just a list of things, like listing the things that you can do after you meditate. You set your intentions, you list things on your to do list.
Mhm.
And then once you have that list, crossing it out just day by day. So, like, if the first, hi, Jazz, if the first thing that you do is like, if you have an intention to like shower, okay,
Mhm.
cross it off. If you have an intention to get dressed for the day, if you're working from home, if you have an
Mhm.
intention to cook a home cooked meal, whatever your intention is, whatever you want to get done, write that down and then celebrate it at the end of the day. Like, literally just celebrate it. If it's a binging, if it's a glass of wine, if it's like I like to paint, whatever you wanna celebrate and do, like, celebrate those moments, because that in itself also gives you, like, a reward system and helps you to get into, like, this new normal, so to speak.
Yes.
So that's, another way for, like, to just ground yourself and bring yourself into this present moment and just focusing on what you can do, like, right here and right now.
And I love the idea of like just showering, like celebrating, crossing that off. For somebody like this, like, well, what's the big deal? Like I shower every day, but the little things, if we can learn how to celebrate the little things and be kind of grateful for the little things, it can have you can develop some peace,
You
right?
really can. So I thought of Manifest Peace, actually, like, I was in like this like just bad place, and I started using like cognitive behavior techniques like for myself, on myself, in order to just drop like all the chaos and the thoughts in my head.
Mhm.
And it really did. It regulated my emotions, it regulated my thoughts, and I just continued it. And eventually I literally just manifested peace in my life. And
Mhm.
then that's when I said, okay, I want to be a life coach. And I said this and I said that about, and Manifest Peace just came out of the works from that. So that's literally what the goal of it all is just to manifest peace. And there's just like little things like my mind goes 24/7. Like, I have an extremely active, like, hyperactive mind.
Mhm.
And it also can make my inner critic start to just chatter on to make me feel like, wow, you're doing nothing. When in reality, I could be like working like four different jobs and be in school full time and be doing this. And
Mhm.
I'm sitting here like, wow, I'm doing nothing.
Yeah.
That's why I always say, now I really just am grateful for those little things, and like saying like, hey, I'm actually doing this and I'm doing that, and just slowing down so that I literally can like manifest that peace in my life that I like was always craving.
So the shifting your thoughts process that you talk about, for instance, if you're struggling, if somebody listening to this and they're struggling with that inner critic, and that they're never good enough or they're not doing enough, if they can work on understanding what they're thinking, slowing down the process and celebrating the moments, it can help shift their thought process.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, that's good. And
Well,
then how would you, it says desired manifest your desired future. How do people do that part?
I kind of oh, sorry, is this my computer? Like,
No, it's mine. Sorry, one second.
oh, okay, no, it's okay. And then I'm like, it's a little frozen. Okay. But so I am still working on like my exact future, but I'm going to use like my story right now that I have. So like I said, I was in a lot of chaos in just my life, and there was just so much going on, and literally my desired future was just to manifest peace in my life. It was to organize my closet and to be able to keep that consistent, to be able to have consistent and positive relationships in my life. Like, that was literally it. There was nothing materialistic, nothing like that. And so I manifested that with my thoughts by changing my perspective on things, by changing my wants, and like just only thinking positive. It's all about the vibration that I was giving off. Like, I had a very low vibrational frequency, which was making me um just get back low things from the universe. I have a lowly life. And so once I raise those vibrational frequencies with my thoughts and my emotions, then I was able to like manifest that peace. We don't understand like how in control our thoughts really are of our lives.
Can you guys still hear me? Hold on, let me see something.
Oh yeah, I can hear.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's frozen.
No, I know. Sorry, one second. Let me just see
Oh,
something.
that's okay.
Um, let me try to.
Okay. Technical difficulties, guys. Technical difficulties.
Live show. I'm the host and the producer.
Doing it all.
No, that was really good. And the part about we don't understand, the last part that you said about how much control we have over our thoughts, and we don't even understand what our thoughts are.
Right.
So, like, I tell people, you have a whole world happening inside, and it's literally running the show.
Literally.
And
Our subconscious is like mind blowing. The things that go on in our subconscious mind are crazy. We only are conscious of our conscious thoughts. And that's very little. Like we don't even understand how little that really is. Like it's crazy.
if somebody's listening to this, like, what would you say is the kind of first step to start in this process? I talk to people about meditation a lot, but I think for them it feels hard because they've never sat with stillness.
Right.
What kind of steps would you tell them to take in order to like start this process that kind of feels really hard?
I would say the first step always is like really wanting it. Like you have to really want it. Like you have to want it. Like meditation is difficult. But if you really want it, you will. Yes, movies go on inside my head too, and I have to like stop myself and with this process before I'll keep going because I'll give the process away. But meditation is really hard. I couldn't meditate at all before I I started. I couldn't meditate even like for 30 seconds. Um, but I started with just doing like a minute at a time, literally. Just 1 minute. I set the timer on my phone for 1 minute. And my first meditation, I remember I was so fidgety and my thoughts were everywhere, but I wanted it. And so every day I would do like another minute, or I would do 2 minutes, then 2 minutes, then 3 minutes, 4 minutes, and working my way up. And so now I'm in the place where I can just lay on my bed and just meditate, whether it be a guided meditation or I'm in my head. So that would be the first and the second thought, wanting it and then allowing yourself to just like set do it in increments, meditate in increments. And then being able to sit with yourself and like identify those negative thoughts. So you could do that by just asking yourself a question. So you're sitting on the couch like right now. Take a minute. Like this is actually do this. Like actually do this right now.
Okay.
Okay. But just take 1 minute. Let's just take 1 minute. So you're gonna close your eyes again. This time we're not gonna say anything. And I want you to, well, I'll talk, but you know, not gonna do much. I want you guys to just take a second and ask yourself, like, how are you feeling about the coronavirus? What feelings does it bring up for you when I mention the corona? I like say it like it's a phrase, and I don't know why, but what thoughts does that bring up for you? Like, what feelings, what emotions, anxiety, overwhelming? Maybe you might be calm. What feelings are coming up for you? What thoughts are being told? What thoughts are circulating in your mind? Is your mind saying, this will never end? Is your mind saying, some people are saying, like, this is the end of the world? What does your mind say? Where does your mind bring you? What does your inner critic say? Does your inner critic say, I can't work from home? Allow yourself to like think about the thoughts going on in your head. And then if you have a pen and paper next to you, once we're done and you're opening your eyes, you're going to write down those thoughts. So just take like a couple more seconds there. Now just take a deep breath in and release it. Now I grab your handy dandy journal. This is mine that's like all written in, but grab your handy dandy journal or just a piece of scrap paper and write down every single thought that you had in like that moment. So if your thought was like, I want to eat oranges during the corona. Okay, write that down. Write down every single thought. That's like what I tell people when they're trying to identify those thoughts. Write down every thought that's going through your mind. Maybe your thought was, I really wish I could see the ocean. Write that down. Write that down. Write that down. Like, we don't understand how important journaling is to identifying negative thoughts. Because when we start to get those thoughts down on paper, then they get out of our mind and we're actually able to see them. So we're able to
Mhm.
work on them.
Mhm.
So that is like first step, want it. The second step, meditation, just in increments. The third step would be identifying those thoughts, identifying it. The fourth step, write every single thought down. Another really cool like little technique that I use is like with writing it down is I set my timer sometimes. I do this like once a week maybe. I set my timer for 7 minutes. 7 minutes is a long time. 7 minutes, and I write down everything that comes to my mind.
Mm.
So sometimes I start out with like, well, the first time I started out with just a word. So say you wanted your word to be focus. So start out. So I'm saying so much, but sorry about that. But so you're going to start out with just one word. So say I started out with focus, and then everything that comes to your mind after focus, I cry,
Whatever it is.
whatever comes to your mind. If it's a phrase, if it's one word, if it's one letter, like whatever comes to your mind, and do that for 7 minutes. And you don't think that you can do it for 7 minutes, but once you start, it's just like it just comes
Yeah.
pouring out like one thing after another. So that's another way to start identifying some of the thoughts that come into your head and like learning to communicate with yourself in your
Mm.
inner you, because that's a, a huge part of actually shifting our perspective of things.
No, that's really good. Those are really good tips for people that are starting off the process. Like, start slow, and I think the idea of just writing whatever down, do it without judgment,
Yeah.
because it's already happening in your head. So why not like see what's happening so you can work on gaining that control
Yeah.
over that thought process. You're like speaking my language.
I love that. Thank you. The movie that you said that whoever it was that wrote that I didn't see, but the movie that you said, you could like actually write a script if you take a second and put that movie down on paper. Like,
That's
you might have a
good.
really good award-winning script, being able to manifest maybe your desire is to be a screenplay writer. So you
Yeah.
never really know like what you can do.
And the person that said it is actually a writer, so that's
Oh wow,
probably why it's happening that way.
that's so funny. There you go. There's an affirmation that you need to get out there and you need to write and write and write. Like you have some
I really, 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 really love the way you think.
uh,
Tell people how they can reach you if they want to reach you, because something that you're doing is very unconventional, meaning in America society, we don't really think about stillness. Now everyone's forced into stillness, and to be able to do it in a guided way can be helpful, because I know sometimes when it's still and it's hard, we try to distract, and this is hard work, but on the other side, I feel like there's peace.
very serious piece. I can like sometimes when I think about it, like and what it was before for me, and I think about like my life now, I'm like, wow,
Wow, I know.
I did that. I feel
Mhm.
like this right now instead of feeling like that. Like that's freaking amazing, you know?
It really brings tears to your eyes
It does,
sometimes
it
when you think
brings, like,
about it,
tears
yeah.
to my eyes. Like, sometimes I'm crying and I'm like, "Why am I crying?" Like, this is a good thing. But that uncomfortable it's like an uncomfortable place, but it takes uncomfort to get to comfort. So
Bam, there you go.
exactly. So you can reach me at my website, manifestpeace.com. And there's my phone number on there. You could text or email. Also, I'm totally available on Instagram, manifest underscore peace. And you can also, my Facebook page is like, I think it's kind of hard to get to. I might just like show it, but on my Facebook page, I do.
Is it on your website, like your links to Facebook?
Yes,
Okay.
Facebook, you can just go on to, like, those little lines on the side, And then
Okay.
all of my social media will be right on there.
This
So
was so good. Oh, I'm gonna put it in the show notes too. So if you're listening to
okay.
this, because this is gonna be a podcast too. So if you're listening to this, you can find all of the information that you talked about in the show notes.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful to you for walking us through that piece. Someone says thank you. In the middle of our broadcast. In the middle of my broadcast, the computer was ringing, and I was still. Luckily, I did the meditation before, so I was kind of grounded already. I was like, "Oh my God, what am I gonna do?"
Back real quick.
No, but Makayla, thank you so much. You are amazing, and I'm like glad that you said everything that I would normally say, and it's coming from somebody that's not a therapist, because people think only therapists can do this, but nope, you can do it. Anybody can do it, and
anybody can do this work. You just have to want it. Like, if you want it, you can do anything. That desire is yours.
Yes. Thank you for being here, and I'm gonna say bye to my audience.
Bye,
guys. She was so good. I'm so grateful to her for like coming on and sharing that information. If you missed the beginning of the broadcast, thank you so much. If you missed the beginning of the broadcast, it's going to be on my podcast. You can catch the replay or you can watch the replay. But she took us on a guided meditation, and it was really powerful. And it's something that I talk to people a lot about meditation and the importance of it. But I get that it's hard to kind of sit and be still. And one of the tips that she gives us is to just kind of start with 1 minute. You know, like some people that have mastered this may be able to do like longer time frames, but you know, you're starting out 30 seconds, 1 minute, and just keep the flow going and be very consistent in it. And then as you're writing it down, do it without judgment. Really, really good tips. And I suggest like to try to implement those into your life. So before we go, first, thank you guys for listening to her. She was amazing. I really quick want to put up these 2 lines again. So there is this NAMI line, NAMI. It's the National Alliance of Mental Illness. And if you go to learn more, you can put in your zip code and you can get the chapter that's in your state. This is an important line. It's a free line, and they have resources. And then this is a text crisis line, 741-741. If you find yourself struggling, you know, this is a very unique time where no one's ever experienced this before. And so be patient with yourself, you know, be kind with yourself. I have 4 kids, and today, like I had a schedule for them. Today they did not do the schedule. And I was kind to myself. I didn't say, oh my gosh, they didn't learn today. You know, I took patience because this is a new experience for everyone, the kids, parents. Give yourself some grace. Notice your thoughts. You know, this was a very timely podcast today with Makayla, because a lot of times when things don't happen the way we expected or the way we plan it, sometimes we struggle with our inner thoughts, and it can be very challenging when all you're thinking about is that you're not doing a good job. So just be kind to yourself, be patient with yourself during the process. Take it one day at a time, literally one day at a time, and focus on the present day. And a good way to do that is through meditation. So thank you guys so much for being here, for rocking out with me, for your support, for listening to my podcast. If you don't know the podcast, you can listen to it on any platform. It's called Celeste the Therapist Podcast, and it's literally everywhere. So until next time, guys, we'll be back tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. we'll have another guest to kind of walk us through ways that we can work on kind of shifting our thought process. I love you too. Work on shifting your thought process. That's something that is important to do when you're stuck in this negative state. So until next time, guys, I will talk to you later. Bye.
Every laugh, every smile, every hug, every kiss, every touch, every person in my life that I care about and love. But wait, maybe I'm getting too emotional. That's exactly what they say you ain't supposed to do. Suppress your feelings, never talk about your pain. Can't appreciate the sun without acknowledging it rains, right? That's right. So this a moment of clarity. And make sure you always protect your energy. You stay focused and your life gon' be lit. And you are now rocking with Celeste, the therapist. Let's go.